social media. We're so excited to see you. We are JKLMprov. We are in our final show of our current run of our show, Improvisations on a Theme. A show that is based upon conversations, dialogues, interviews with creative individuals. Specifically for this run, we have been partnering with authors. Speaking of authors, well, we were looking forward to bringing you Lisa Clark O'Neill this evening, and hopefully she can join us maybe at a later date. I am very, very, very excited to say we will be interviewing Valarie Savage Kinney. She is an author. She is known for such works as the fantasy series Secrets of Windy Springs and a novel by the name of Heckled and a short story collection of horror-inspired tales known as Consumption. Valarie, would you please turn on your camera and join us? Hello, Valarie. How are you?
Good. Yourself?
Excellent. I am well. Well, for the next 45 minutes or so, we're going to be engaging Valarie in kind of an interview conversation, and based off of everything that kind of comes up during the natural flow of dialogue, we will do a series of improvised scenes that's inspired based on, adjacent to, things of that nature. But without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Marc Ryser.
Thanks, Valarie. Thanks for coming. We very much appreciate you stepping in at the last moment and helping us get our fourth show in. So we're going to ask you some things that we hope both you and us and our audience find interesting. And my first is, what possibly made you decide to write a book and then stick with it and actually do it? Because creative people talk about writing books all the time, and quite simply, we all start and then don't do it. But you did.
As a teenager, like in junior high and high school, I wrote a lot, and then I grew up and got married and had kids and grown-up life, and I put writing away for a long, long time. And in 2009, my dad died abruptly without warning, and it was a very, very difficult time, and words just kind of started pouring out through that grief, and like I had a red notebook. I would like wake up in the middle of the night with words and like just start writing, and it all of like was kind of started like a movie in my head of these people, and so I started writing them out, and that ended up being my first book. And it is it's a fiction book, but it's a book about living through grief and how that feels and what that's like. And so I wrote it. My dad died in, like I said, 2009, and I wrote it and I saved it on a flash drive, and I was like, well, there I am, wrote a book.
It's done, and you got it.
Done, did that, got that out of the way. And then a couple years after my dad's death, my sister unfortunately became ill with end-stage lung cancer, and she was 48, and she died a month after she turned 49. And it really brought a lot into focus, like I would think about, and she was a single mom, and she would say, so often she'd be working like a full-time job, second job, and, raising 5 kids. And she would say, once this happens, once the kids are out of school, once I'm more settled, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And then all of her chances were just gone.
So you started wriing,
and I thought,
continued writing as a therapy.
Like I need to know that I have done it for myself. So I started at that time, like researching avenues to turn the manuscript I had already written years prior into a book, and trying to figure out what avenue I wanted to go with that. And then after that, it just kind of kept rolling.
Good. Now, your first book was about surviving grief, but that's not what you do now. You're a fantasy author primarily, or fantasy and horror. Mm-hmm. And tell us very briefly about your series of books.
So The Secrets of Windy Springs is a fantasy, it's a modern fantasy set inside a Renaissance festival. And the kind of the twist is that the people who work there are, almost all of them have like some type of ability or supernatural power that they're just kind of hiding in plain sight, because, you know, you go to some place like that and you expect to see strange things, so you don't think twice, you know, so it's a good cover.
It's just all part of the act, so it's completely normal.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be strange. Do you like Renaissance fairs?
I do, actually. I usually work at one through the summer, which is in mid-Michigan. It's called Mid-Michigan Renaissance Festival. Yep.
And what do you sell your own books there, or do you do something else? Do you get to be the queen? Do you get to be a fairy princess? What?
So my shop is called, the sign says, support your local hookers. So,
okay.
So we sell books and crocheted items.
All right.
So that's it's fun.
Kate, you look very, very excited about a Renaissance fair.
I'm
Is there
so
something
excited
anybody else would like to ask?
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah, absolutely.
How long have you been working at this Renaissance fair?
I started vending there the summer of 2013.
Okay.
And we have been patrons for a couple years before that.
Okay. I think we have enough information for our first round of improv. So what we're going to present to you now is how you got into writing. Lady Gwendolyn.
Yeah?
I have a bone to pick with you, Lady Gwendolyn.
I was hiding.
I know. The king has just come by, and I have just announced his royal personage, and there you go, hiding. I expect a lovely little curtsy and a hearty huzzah!
Zah.
Look, as much as you hate doing this summer job, this is all I got, okay? So when I bring the damn king by, I expect a huzzah.
Huzzah!
That's a little bit better. Look, I've been working in this place for 5 years, and I finally got a job that doesn't suck. So if you're going to be one that costs me this job, I'm going to make sure that we get your vendor's license, okay?
Fine.
Please tell me you found a flash drive. Please tell me.
I found a flash. I found a flash drive. 512 megabytes of memory on this flash drive.
Oh my gosh, that's my flash drive. My manuscript is on it. I need it back.
Well, I mean, that's. How do I know? How do I know it's your flash drive?
It says Kate's flash drive on it.
Look, there's a lot of people, and I'm sure more than one of them are named Kate.
It says flip it over. It says my address on it. I can show you my ID. It's my flash drive, dude. Come on.
Kate.
What?
I'm Kate.
Kate, what's your address?
My address?
Yeah.
739. Claremont.
Yep.
Street. No, not Street Avenue. Liechtenstein.
So, I'm sorry. No. So now we apparently have a false Kate who lives at 739 Claremont Avenue.
No.
Hey, you got Kate's flash drive? I'm Kate's husband.
Yeah.
You mind if I take that?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thanks.
All too easy. Look, I'm saying I like the sign. I like the sign. We're against hikes in prostitution. Prostitution. I mean, that's going to get the college dean's attention. I mean, maybe a little strong.
Well, strong. I thought it was subtle because at first glance they're going to think prostitution. But
right, at least I understand that's what I thought. That's what I thought you were. That's what I thought you were going for.
No. See, we don't mind the prostitution. We don't mind that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want their tuition to be paid for. See, we're against prostitution.
Gotcha. I got you, Lisa. I also wanted to direct your kind of wanted to ask about the tagline. We will slut this campus down. I'm thinking it's kind of a play on what, shut?
And that's scene. So, Valarie, you can come back on. Tell us, did that look at anything at all like how you got into writing? You could turn your camera back on?
Yep, that's what I'm. So I didn't turn it off. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So it looks
There you
different. Sorry.
Oh, hey.
So that looked exactly like how you started out, right?
Absolutely.
That's just the kind of actors we are. So let's go back and revisit Renaissance fairs for a moment as we talk about the concepts of research and write what you know. So you've worked at a Renaissance fair, you like Renaissance fairs, you enjoy them, and that's where your book is set. So are your stories in any way are autobiographical? Do you take personalities and characters from those fairs and drop them into your books? Or do people not like that because their personas are copyrighted?
I think probably every single character that I have written has some little piece of me or something that I've known or done or felt, that has been left a mark. There's no characters that I've written that are based on actual living human beings, but they are all probably stitched together like a quilt, and everyone's just a little bit of a patch,
Bits and pieces of different people making up characters.
Yeah, like Frankensteining it.
Okay. I imagine you meet some pretty dominant personalities hanging around a Renaissance fair.
Maybe.
If it doesn't violate confidence or anything like that, who stands out?
Well, we have a wicked witch, and you don't want to make her mad. Yes, I mean, well, she scares small children and some adults. She's very foreboding, sinister, even. Yeah. And she has a sister who's a fairy godmother, but the fairy godmother, it's not very intimidating. She just throws like fairy glitter, but the wicked witch she's a little scary.
With your writing style, who do you have other authors that are influential? Do you try and emulate them or approach things from the same way they do? Do you have an influence, or do you just say, no, this is all me and what I know?
I don't think I have a writing style that mimics anybody, at least not consciously. I mean, I read a great deal. I've always been a heavy reader, so I'm sure there's stuff that I don't even realize that I've picked up over the years. But that's not intentional. And I'm not a writer. Like, you can get a list of writer do's and don'ts, and every writer will have a different one and say that it's the right one. And it's just not me. Like I'm not good with authority or rules. So I kind of do my own thing.
That's interesting. As an author, you are the ultimate authority for what happens in the world that you're creating.
That's true. Usually.
Genre-wise, are we closer to Harry Potter or to Iron Kingdom or Iron King? What am I even talking about? Game of Thrones. That's the one I'm talking about. Or Cthulhu, or something in the middle, or
that would depend on which book or which series we're talking about. So, for instance, I used to belong to a writing group in Flint, and I took a piece that I was working on at the time, which is now a book. And so part of the thing was that you had to read like 10 pages of your current work. And I was like, this is such an original idea. And I was so proud of it. And I read it. And like every single person was like, you sound like Stephen King. Quit trying to be Stephen King. You know, and I'm like, I'm not. Like, but I probably was reading King, you know, just reading it, and it just seeps in. And, you know, there's all that information you take in, you know, it doesn't just disappear. So you learn how they pull like a scene apart, and the details that you're focusing on, and that kind of thing.
Okay. John, Lori, Kate, got any questions before we go on?
Valarie, I have a question in regards to your forays into the genre of horror. As someone who's, you know, written in the genre, in the process of, you know, putting words to page, or, you know, typing into a computer, I guess would be a better way of putting it. Have you ever, I guess subconsciously, have you ever written a passage and then just kind of gone back and read it, and just you gave yourself goosebumps, or kind of like spooked yourself in the process of doing so?
Yes, but probably not for the reasons you would think. So I'm not afraid of like the snake gods, or, you know, in Slither, or, you know, the you know, frightening monsterish characters, like, and I'm not afraid of like physical horror, but to me, probably the most horrible thing is like one of my books where the main character is basically battling his own mind and ultimately loses. And to me, that is horrifying. So that is far more horrifying to me than any, you know, tentacly, you know, Kraken guy coming at you or anything like that, because it's real, because that does happen, you know, and that's a million times scarier to me than fictional boogeymen or anything that they could do.
Okay. So I think we are ready to demonstrate your writing process to you. And again, you can tell us whether we got it or not.
Okay.
So your writing process.
Fairy dust for you, and some fairy dust for you, and a little fairy dust for you.
Linda?
What?
Linda, you've
What?
been telling people that I'm evil. I am not evil. I am not wicked.
I didn't use that term exactly. Fairy dust for you, and fairy dust for
You've
you.
been telling people that I'm not to be trusted, that I lie, that I manipulate things for my own good.
Well, I mean, to be truthful, you are really good at poker. And I feel like to be really good at poker, that you need to have all those traits. And I mean, I guess I wasn't really seeing it in a bad light. I was seeing it.
My power is luck. My power is luck. That's why I win at poker.
Right. No, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. Listen, I just feel like we need to be transparent with people. Like, I have the power of fairy dust that everybody knows and loves. And then sometimes you win games somehow, ? That doesn't imply that like you cheat or anything. It's just like, I'm being transparent with people. Isn't that what people want nowadays? Transparency?
Yes, but that's not what you're giving them. You're giving them supposition and open-ended questions and letting them come to their own conclusions based on your bias.
I do not agree with your term bias. I think
Oh, come on,
that-
you hated me since we were kids.
hate is a strong word.
This is the worst haunted house I have ever been in. Boring.
That character, the ghost forgot to cut out one of the eyes in the sheet. A one-eyed ghost.
Look
You have one eye.
And you know, ghosts aren't scary. They're the spirits of the departed. They're part of, that's our process, our life. We're eventually going to end there. What's scary about that?
Right. I mean, you know, like candelabras and like tapestries, if you call that a tapestry, are scary. That's part of like the Gothic style, right? That's coming back these days.
Yeah. I mean, wall hangings. It's dirty. I came in here for existential dread.
Tom, I'm right there with you.
Ooh.
How do you know you are a person?
That one actually got me a little bit.
Wait, I
wasn't really prepared to be confronted with nihilism.
What if we're all someone else's imaginary characters?
Whoa!
Tom, I'm having an existential crisis.
Oh man, I tell you what, let's get out of here and go read some Kafka.
Wait, you're not gonna turn to a butterfly, right?
What if butterflies have turned into us?
Ah!
It's okay. Aunt Muriel is here. It's okay.
It's so scary.
It's gonna be okay. Aunt Muriel is here.
I know, but they told me that the snakes were gonna come down, and I don't want the snakes to come down.
No snakes are gonna come down while I'm here.
Promise me that there are no gods made of snakes, or God does not like snake.
I promise you.
Oh my God.
Go away. Go away, snake.
Get up.
See? I have the power over the snake.
You too?
I do. So even if they try to come down, even if they come out of the ground, I can protect you. Aunt Muriel will always protect her.
It's
little
back.
husband.
Get it?
Snake, snakes away. Snakes away. Down.
Oh my gosh, you have such powerful spells.
See? It will be okay.
Oh my God.
Nothing's gonna hurt my little bun.
Thanks, Aunt Muriel. I didn't mean to
And
make
that
this.
scene. Valarie, you can come back on. Maybe.
Yep.
There we go.
Hey.
Was that kind of like how you write?
Nailed it.
Did we capture? Great. I'm glad to hear it. It's easy to do when you give us such good information. For our last section, this is sort of a potpourri section. I'm going to ask you a question. I learned in, I think, middle school from an English teacher that I had that I really, really liked, who told me that science fiction and fantasy was the purest form of storytelling because you didn't have to worry about reality at all. You could just tell whatever story you wanted, and if you needed something to happen, it could. Oh, come on, that's not mind-blowing, that's basic. what to you is the most important aspect of your storytelling? What are you most concerned about?
I think relatability. I like when readers come up and tell me that they really identify with one of my characters. I kind of have this thing where I hate tropes. And so I do everything that I can to make my characters the opposite of what a trope would have them to be. So like the hero, maybe, you know, 5 foot tall and bald and still gets the pretty girl, or I'm just not a fan of the, you know, perfect people in books. Like I don't identify with those kind of characters, and I don't think a lot of other people do either. So I like characters that are flawed and believable and real. And I think that's the most important thing to me. Like if I wasn't writing characters that were like that I thought I could pluck out of the book and like hang out with and laugh, and you know, then I wouldn't have an interest in writing them.
Do your characters have a tragic flaw in the Greek sense of a hubris or some personality trait that causes them to fail in the end? Or are we talking about, yeah, you're just not the typical hero?
Probably some of both, but probably the most recurrent theme in my books is a threat of mental illness in one form or another, because it's a topic that's very dear to me, and I feel like representation matters, even if it's in, you know, an unbelievable magical fairy tale setting. And so I think that the more that we talk about taboo topics, the less taboo they become, and the more emboldened people may feel to know that they're not alone, and that there's things that they could do to get themselves straightened out, because it's not odd or weird or you're the only one in the world. So that's kind of my goal.
Okay. So moral lessons in the books? Or philosophical lessons? Or just entertaining stories and that's all they are?
No, well, no, I mean, moral lessons, yes, but you know, you can be a good person who has done bad things and still be a good person, because you can learn, right? Or you can be a good person with a terrible temper and have done bad things. Or, you know, everybody's got a past, everybody's got choices that they've made that they may not make later on unless they have more information. But you have to learn to live with that and how to work, learn from it without letting it consume you.
All right. Anybody else have a question?
Yeah. A lot of authors talk about how their characters have a mind of their own. Like the characters decide what's going to happen. Characters, quote unquote, talk to you. Do you feel that way? Do you write that way? Do you find yourself in the middle of having written a chapter or two going, how did this happen?
Oh, for real. Like I'm incessantly telling Dash to shut up, but he does not.
Oh, good.
I'm sorry, who to shut up?
There's a character in the Windy Springs books called Captain Dash, who is the owner of the festival and believes he's a pirate captain. So everybody has to, you know, treat him as such. And he's just, I can't do anything with him that hasn't already brought me. So sometimes characters are more malleable, and sometimes they just turn up fully formed with a backstory and a name that I can't change even if I hated it.
Have you ever reluctantly killed a character?
Yes.
Were you able to just go on with it, or did it, you know, shut you down for a day? I can't believe that Bob is dead.
No.
Now what am I going to do?
You know, so I'm not a plotter. So like they separate authors a lot of times into pantser or plotter. So I am more of a pantser. I don't write out outlines or have storyboards or anything like that, but I generally have an idea of where it's going to go. One of my books, I always knew the main character was going to die because I wrote the end of the book first and then I wrote the rest of it backward. So I hurt my own feelings because I always knew he had never had a chance. But as I was weaving the story, like you're making this guy and you're, you care how things turn out and you can see why he views the world the way that he does. And, it's like you want to root for him, but you know that you can't because you know what you've already done. So, I mean, yeah, it can be hard. But sometimes if that's the story, that's the story, and you just can't change it. Were you tempted to change it? I mean, until it's published, the last page doesn't matter any more than the first. Well, I just can't always change things. I can't write things that are false. And if it is the way that it works I can write fiction, but that's different than deliberately writing something that's not true to the way the story is playing out. If that makes sense. Yeah. Absolutely. We're improvisers. We make up stuff all the time that is supposed to go someplace. So, and sometimes we can all feel it. I mean, the best shows we've ever done are where we all know from the first moment, this is how this is actually going to go. Mm-hmm. And then there are other times where we all think it's going to go someplace and it just doesn't. Yeah. Well, writing's a lot like that too. I assume the term, you said pantsers and plotters? Mm-hmm. Like seat of the pants versus plotting it out? Yep. Okay. Anybody else before we go? Oh, I want to ask one more question. You care about your own characters. Do you get that way with other people's characters in other series of books? Or a Renaissance fair in and of itself is a sort of fandom, a sort of subculture. Do you get involved with other similar fandoms? Like, are you a real Star Wars geek? Or is the idea of going to Hogwarts the absolute greatest thing that's ever happened to you? Do you know, I will be honest with you, I've never read Harry Potter. Like, I've seen snatches of the movies. You okay? I know. I know it's very upsetting for a lot of people. When the books came out, I had a whole lot of very young children under the age of 6, and I just didn't do that. And then when I had more time to read as the kids got older, I was interested in other things. But I really, really like the Outlander series. That's one of my favorites. And I do care about those characters, like I know I've read all of the books and I know that there's one more book coming and I know that somebody is going to die in that book. And so I'm not reading it. So as far as I'm aware, their story stopped in book 8. So I can already see how it's going. And I know what the title is and I know why that's the title. And I'm not reading it because I am not going to accept that reality.
Yeah. I'm with you.
All right.
I'll still read it, but I'm with you.
Okay. Any other questions before we go on? And all right, you can turn your camera off and we can reenact your thoughts about literature in your process. All righty.
Mr. Christopher Columbus, there's one question.
Yes.
You must ask yourself, Mr. Columbus.
Yes.
Are you a pantser or are you a plotter? Because I'm not sending you on the Nina, the Maria, and the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria.
That's it.
I've worked with pantsers.
Yes. I will tell you, King of Spain, that I can be both at the same time. It's called cognitive dissonance.
You can be a pantser and a people. That is heresy, Cristobal.
Well, King of Spain, let me tell you something. You know who else committed heresy? The guy that invented Spain. Think about that, right?
Fernando, don't listen to him. Fernando, do not listen to him.
Spain united is our greatest achievement.
Wait, but my love, if are we Spain? Are we not Spaniards?
We are. And Ferdinand and Isabella
Oh yeah, that's your names.
brought it together.
That's your names.
We
That's right.
did Spain.
That's right, Isabella. Because we're plotters. We're plotters, and there's no way the founder of Spain was not a plotter.
Exactly.
All
Now,
right.
yes, Cristobal, we're giving you the money.
Yeah.
We're giving you the ships,
Yeah.
but you have to find your crew. Deal?
I could be down.
Excellent.
Truly, this is the worst set of books I've ever read in my life. I keep trying to get into it because it's popular, because all the little kids like it, but like a storm out of the north, this Stephanie Meyer's schlock is total garbage. I can't read it.
I can't believe you would say that about my favorite characters.
Oh, they're poorly written. They're nothing but archetypes stuck together in trivialized situations.
Daddy.
I'm sorry, my princess. But we're pirates. We keep it real. We say things that we mean. And when things deserve to be deep-sixed, they deserve to be deep-sixed.
No! You did
Why
not
not read-
just throw Twilight overboard.
I did.
You hate
And-
me, and I hate you.
No, sweetheart, I don't hate you. I just want you to read literature that is good.
What if I want to read literature that is fun?
There's plenty of fun literature out there as well. How about Catcher in the Rye? That's fun. How about Kafka? That's fun.
I think we have different definitions of fun.
Honey, we're going to make the perfect taboo team. Did you practice?
I was practicing all week for tonight. I don't want to let you down.
Because we cannot be scared of taboo, okay? Last week we lost Scrabble. We cannot be scared of taboo.
Nope. No.
So remember, you look at the card, honey, right? You look at the card. You can't say these words, honey, but you got to get me to say this word, okay? So let's practice. If I said red and fire, what would you say?
Engine.
If I said a car, what would you say?
Truck.
Yeah, see, we did it.
Oh man. You know what? We're gonna clear out our neighbors. We got this in the bag. We need
a contingency plan.
Hey guys, I'm glad you guys could come over. You guys ready to play categories?
What?
Categories. That's what we decided to play this week.
Yeah.
I thought the third week was taboo week.
We put it on our Facebook page.
You not check the group?
I'm on Parlor. Are you on Facebook, honey? I don't.
Ooh.
Did you?
You know what? Maybe
It says it.
maybe just next week.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll practice categories.
Hold on, buddy. I don't know where we're going, but we're gonna get somewhere.
Thanks for flying on me.
Hey, no problem. Hey, tell me something. Do you have an autopilot?
No, I'm a hands-on type of magical plane.
Well, that's great, but here's the thing. I'm not actually a pilot.
That's okay, Carl. I knew that when I let you on my back, and I'm perfectly okay with that.
Really? Because in all honesty, I might crash and kill us both.
Carl, I have the utmost faith in you.
All right, then. Well, to show you how much that means to me,
I'm taking this plane over in the name of France.
Captain Jack. All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Carl,
A pirate. I mean, he's got a gun and stuff.
Carl, it was fun while it lasted.
Hey, you know what? I'm not going to abandon you. The relationship between you and me, between a non-pilot and his magical carpet plane, is so important that give me that stick.
No.
Give it to me, or I'll hit you with this snowball.
I reject your reality. I did not read it on paper, therefore it is not correct.
You
Oh
reject
boy.
reality?
Yes.
Hey, that's what happens with these freshmen in Congress. They don't necessarily believe the same things the rest of us do.
This piece of paper was not read by these eyes. Therefore, I do not have to follow the logic that goes with them.
You do realize I'm the speaker. I'm the
I
speaker.
also reject that reality because I did not read your name tag.
See, I mean, this is what we get.
Since no one has brought it up, I just wanted to interject and say, states' rights, states' realities.
And scene. Because I don't want to go down any farther on that road. Valarie, come on back. That feel like writing?
Absolutely.
Great. For our last segment, and you're all supposed to go, oh, at this point. Oh, our show's almost over. For our last segment, we would like you to, without spoilers, without ruining anything, because we definitely want people to buy your next book. The book, you are working on something right now? You are in the process of beginning or planning something?
I'm in the process of 2 books right now.
2 books. Well, just pick one because 2 would be confusing. We would like you to give us the general plot of your next book. Are you willing to do that with us?
Sure.
Great. You've got 15 seconds. Go.
Diana was such a bitch, but when you find out why she became that way, your tears are going to be swimming in your eyes and you will be empathetic toward her.
You
That's
got
all I
20
need.
seconds. Okay, that's 15
Nailed it.
seconds. What is the book's name? Does it have a name yet?
The book's name is Knowing Her Heart.
Knowing Her Heart. So we're gonna write Knowing Her Heart for you. You can use anything that we improvise here. Just dump it as is right into your pages. All we want is a co-writing credit.
Absolutely.
So, Knowing Her Heart. You can turn your camera off.
Oh, Carlos, you know my heart so well.
Yes, Diana. Yes, I do.
You speak to me as though we were one.
I really didn't think, Carol, that my contempt was so hard to read. Why doesn't she get this?
I don't know. I think you got to be more direct with her.
Oh, okay. Are you sure? All right.
Love.
Diana, on the advice of Carol, who I would have hoped you would have realized by now that we've been in a 5-year relationship together, you're a bitch.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm sorry, but
Carlos,
I mean, you would have thought that, like, we've been hanging out all the time together. We went to Guam last month. I mean, come on. Let's get on the same team here. You're just hanging around.
that was just a mission trip. You were just on the same mission.
That was some mission.
it's all on our Instagram.
Yeah.
We did all those videos together. We talked about. I mean, I even did the heart hands thing.
The heart.
Me. That was you were giving that to the lens so that I would see it.
Diana, I'm sorry, but beauty is more than skin deep.
That's not insulting to me, though, right? Though.
No, Carol,
Okay.
you're great.
Thanks. Diana, look, you're a fine human, and I guess you'll probably find somebody, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
But this
there's
is,
somebody for you.
there's somebody for you, Diana. But you know what? This ain't it. This ain't it.
Carlos.
Oh God, are you going to challenge me to a duel?
I know this has not been the first time.
I mean, it's every 3 or 4 weeks now.
Look, as the one half, the portion of bitch that made up Diana, I think that's an appropriate frequency.
Alfonso, this is all entirely one. I've apologized. I've tried to go away. I got with Carol. I mean, I've done everything possible to avoid having this fight with you. And it's just becoming, I don't know, it's becoming annoying is what it's becoming.
Carlos, you really think that a piece of someone's personality, they've aptly named themselves Alfonso, would be assuaged by saying that you got with Carol? I mean, really, Carlos.
Okay, look. I've talked to my therapist about you. I know you're a figment of my imagination. I know you're part of my psyche. But I'm not going to fight with myself over guilt about Diane. Diane's problems are Diane's problems, not mine, and certainly not yours.
So wait, are you raising the white flag of surrender, Carlos?
What color is the flag of I don't care?
Diane.
Who's driving this bus?
You
Who's
are.
driving this bus?
You are.
Wait, how'd that happen? I'm not a bus driver.
Diane, Diane, this is a lesson. This is a lesson your grandma's teaching you. You don't think there's a lot in you, but I got you behind that bus, right?
Grandma Muriel?
It's shh. God doesn't know I came here.
Okay.
Listen, Diane, there's a lot of, I can see because I came from up there. There's a lot of not good in here right now, and you need to tell me about it.
I've been lying to my boyfriend all along.
What?
I know it's awful, but I just can't tell him.
You can't tell him why.
If I tell him, he won't respect me.
What could possibly my beautiful granddaughter do that would lose respect?
I killed a man.
What?
I've killed a man.
You killed a human man or a fish man?
A human man.
A human man?
A human man.
That's not a...
He was trying to kill me, though. It was self-defense. But
Wait, time out. You almost died? Where was I?
I couldn't tell anyone.
And then she walked in and told me that she killed some dude. I mean, she said it was self-defense, but I mean,
that is rough.
Yeah, so I've turned to you. I mean, if a piece of my own psyche can't help me, what can, right? So, I mean, on the one hand, she's clearly nuts. But on the other hand, I'm kind of turned on by that. But on the other hand, I've got Carol. But on the other hand, Carol hasn't killed anybody.
So on one hand, angel, devil. Who's to say you can't have both? One who has killed someone and one who hasn't killed someone at once.
So sort of like Schrodinger's murder, or more like Utah and bigamy?
Utah and bigamy.
I'll see what they say. Girls,
Yeah.
ladies, Carol,
Yeah.
Diana,
Yeah. Love, my heart.
how do you guys feel about the American West?
Wherever,
Like the Great Salt Lake.
wherever you go, I will follow.
Great. The economy's booming out there. There's all kinds of money and all kinds of shopping.
Shopping. There's like clothes stores and like food
Oh,
stores.
absolutely. Yeah, the Mormons are actually the height of fashion design in this country right now. So,
Who cares about fashion? I just want your love.
She doesn't get it. She doesn't get it.
yeah, but what do you think about Utah? Just say yes.
I'm good.
As a
I'm U.S. Senator Mitt Romney, and I absolutely approve this message.
And that's scene. Valarie, you can come back out.
Valarie, thank you first and from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you so much for not only joining us, but joining us last minute. We really do truly appreciate being graced with your presence. Is there anything that you'd like to plug, kind of shed some light on?
I'm probably most active on social media in my group, Valarie's Voracious Readers.
Okay.
On Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Valarie's Voracious Readers. Be sure to check that out. We'd also like to give a big, hearty thank you to Nelson Velasquez, our producer for this run, and Improvisations LLC. Just heads up, lots of stuff going on in Improvisations. Friday, they start their run of Hard Times of Northwest Indiana. Fridays in February at 7 o'clock. And then starting Saturday, Improvisations is running, with limited spots remaining, a improv for ages, grades 4th to 8th grade. So definitely check out www.improductionsllc.com for more information on both of those things and so many other goings on. With that said, we have been JKLMprov, but individually we are John.
8.
Lori.
Mark.
Thank you so much. Have a great night, guys.
From Fake Records, it's Songs of Death Valley. This 2-CD set includes such favorites as I'm Thirsty, Watch Out for That Snake, and Why Is It So Damn Hot? You also get Did That Cactus Just Wave at Me? Someone Please Help, and who could forget that love song, This May Be the Heat Talking, but I Think I Love You. The set also includes 2012 Song of the Year, Is That a Scorpion in Your Pocket, or are you just happy to see me? Call now while supplies last.